is my 5,000 subscriber celebration. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined me in the last few weeks. Welcome to all of you. I'm going to be answering some questions. I was hoping to go for a walk and show you some lovely countryside while I did this. Unfortunately, it's very, very windy today. So the only sound that you would hear is the wind on the microphone, and that would be really annoying. So unfortunately, we are in my car, but I still have my list of questions and I'm going to answer all of these now. The first question that I get all the time is, do I teach English in a school? No, I don't. Not at the moment. I am only teaching online at the moment. I started teaching English when I lived in London. So right now I live in the north of England in the countryside, but I lived in London for about 3 years. And living in London, there are thousands of people who move to London to learn English. So it's very easy to find students as an English teacher in London. In London, I taught one-to-one private lessons. I would travel all over London and meet up with my students. But when I moved out of London, I came back to the north of England and I worked online for a while. I worked for a Chinese company and I did video lessons with children in China. That job was really fun. I enjoyed the job. The children were amazing. They were really funny and chatty. That was a really nice job. Unfortunately, most Chinese companies now do not employ teachers outside China. So the company I worked for stopped hiring teachers in the UK and the USA, and they changed all of their teaching policies to only include teachers in China. So I then decided that I would make videos online. The original idea was to advertise my teaching business and get more private students, but I really liked doing YouTube videos and I realized that I can help more people if I'm making videos on YouTube. So instead of just doing a lesson that helps 1 or 2 people for half an hour, I can make a video and then thousands of people can watch that for the next 10 years or however long my channel's there for. So at the moment I am teaching English only on YouTube and I have another job. I'm a personal trainer in a gym. So that's quite different to teaching English, but it is still a form of teaching. I like teaching in general. The next question, someone has asked me, so some of these questions are about the English language, some of these questions are about life in the UK, and some questions are about me. So I will just be answering all of them at random in no particular order. What's the name of the subject? If you are looking for an English teacher, oh, hi, thank you to everyone who's joining and sending me messages. It's great to see you here. Thank you so much. If you are in England and you're looking for an English teacher or an English class, look for ESL, TEFL, or TESOL. The name of the subject, I will explain these. ESL, that's English for Speakers of Other Languages. TEFL, that's Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And TESOL, that's Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. It's a bit of a mouthful, but that is the name of the subject in England. Another person has asked me, they just said, talk about life in the UK. this really depends on which part of the UK you live in. Now, I said that I lived in London for a while. London is really, really different to the rest of the UK. So, London is probably like most really big cities around the world. There are people there from all over the world. Lots of people come to London to learn English. It's very, very busy. So there is someone in the comments saying, please tell me, please tell me, please tell me. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Sorry, I may have missed a question. So sorry. If I miss your questions, I will try to keep up with the chat. But if I miss them, I'm sorry about that. Hi. London is, as I said, just like most really big cities. And out in the countryside, things are quite different. I find it much more relaxing to live and work out in the countryside. I find you get to know people a lot better. You can make much closer friends living in a small town. And it's just more pleasant to live in the countryside. So I guess someone has asked the question, would you rather watch a tree grow? Yes, I would rather watch a tree grow than live in London. I did not enjoy London. It was far too busy, too noisy, and really difficult to make close friends. Hello in Newcastle. Yes, I don't go to Newcastle very often. It is a long way from here, but I know that where it is. A question about the English language. This was a comment on one of my videos. So someone asked me, they said the sentence, who would send me these flowers? And what does the word would mean in this sentence? So I'll explain this. You're asking who might send me flowers. So I would say this if I was surprised. If I'd received some flowers and I'm surprised, I might go, oh, who would send me these flowers? So then I would start to think, oh, it might be my husband, or it might be my best friend. I could say, my husband would send me flowers, or my friend would send me flowers. So when you say who would do that, it's thinking through all the people who might do that. That's what the question means. It's which person might have done it. Another question about the English language, can I use folk, so F-O-L-K, can I use folk instead of people? Yes, you can. Folk is a more casual word, but it is used quite often instead of the word people. And also sometimes folks, you folks, that sounds a little more American to me, but you can use it in England. Everyone will understand you. So folk or folks, it's a casual way of saying people. Do I teach private lessons? Not at the moment. Occasionally I might get time to teach private lessons. I will advertise that on my channel. At the moment, I'm only making videos and I'm also working at the gym. So I have 2 jobs right now and also 3 children. So no time for private lessons, I'm afraid. Many people ask me about my accent. I have a variety of questions on my accent. So where is it from? Is your accent received pronunciation? Is this your natural way of speaking? So my accent is from Derbyshire. Derbyshire is in the north of England. Someone says I sound posh. That's definitely not posh around here. But in terms of, is this my natural way of speaking? Not entirely, not completely. I try to speak more clearly and I use less slang when I'm teaching English. If you heard me talking to my friends in the pub, I might sound a little bit different, not very. I don't put on a completely different accent. I do not use received pronunciation. Received pronunciation is more common in the south of England. So if you visit the south of England, particularly in a well-off area, as you said, posh, maybe, the traditional posh English accent is what we call received pronunciation. So that would be found in the south, but not so much in the north. So my accent is Derbyshire. I do deliberately speak a little more clearly when I'm teaching English or in any other professional environment. I would not deal with customers or clients in a business using lots of slang words. It just doesn't sound very professional. A few questions from the comments. Let me just have a look. I'm going to try and read some of your comments and keep up with them. Am I from Derbyshire? Yes, I am. I live in the north of Derbyshire in the Peak District. I'm very, very lucky to live here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And the weather here, the weather is really nice today, although it is windy, unfortunately. Yeah, it's definitely really nice and sunny and quite warm, but it's windy, which is why I'm sitting in my car, because I tried to go outside and you really can't hear much. It's just blowing into the microphone, which is annoying. A comment here, how could I be consistent in my learning? I think you need to have a set time every day. The best way that I've found to be consistent with anything, whether it's exercise or study or anything else, try to have one time every day, perhaps early in the morning when you have lots of energy, and spend that time studying, even if it's only 15 minutes. If you can only spend 15 minutes every day studying, then do that, because it's better to spend 15 minutes every single day than just 1 hour once a week. So yeah, my best advice for that would be to try and keep the same time every day and make it easy for yourself. So if you're going to get up early and do some study, leave your books out. So the first thing you see when you wake up is your English book. You think, oh yeah, I was going to do my English lesson this morning. And good luck. Try to keep up with that. Hi, I've got a viewer here from Somalia. Thank you for your lovely comments. So the UK has 4 seasons. Which season is going on? Right now we are in spring. We have spring, summer, autumn, winter. Unfortunately, winter keeps coming back when you think it's spring. So we had some nice weather a few weeks ago and we thought, oh great, it's spring. And then it was really cold and icy again. So yes, sometimes we get a fake spring. It seems like spring and it's not really. But I think we're really in spring now, I hope, because I love spring. Spring is my absolute favourite. It's gorgeous weather today. Let me have a look at my next question. Oh, a simple, quick question. Which editing software do you use? I use DaVinci, and I'm lucky I have the fancy version of DaVinci because my son has an editing business and he uses the professional version. So a question about English. The word supper. I made a vlog type video where I took you through my daily life, and I had breakfast, lunch and dinner, or breakfast, dinner and tea, depending on which area you come from. And someone asked me, is the word supper used in daily life? Yes, we do use the word supper. I would normally use supper for, say, a small snack before bedtime. Supper is usually later in the evening than dinner or tea. So I would say that supper is used for a small snack late in the evening. What is your favourite cuisine? That's tricky. My town has lots and lots of takeaways from all over the world, all kinds of different cuisines. Probably the two that I eat the most often are Indian and Chinese food. And that's partly because we have some really good takeaways in my town. So Indian and Chinese, probably my favourites. But I like food from all over the world. I try to try as many different foods as I can. Hi, Irina. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Are there any stereotypes about the place you come from, and are they true or false? Oh, good question. I think there's a stereotype that British people like to drink a lot of alcohol. That's probably true in a lot of cases, although it is becoming more common for people to not drink so much. When I was younger, there was a really big trend of going to the pub all the time. Everyone was at the pub every weekend. Some people still do that. It is really, really common to meet people who go to the pub every single week and drink very large amounts of alcohol. I don't do that at all. I hardly ever drink alcohol, mainly because it interferes with my fitness training. But there are plenty of people who will drink every weekend. It's a bad habit, but it is probably true that British people do drink a lot. Freddie says, where is Gavin? He's commented just before you did, Freddie. What is your favourite dessert? My favourite dessert. That is a very good question. I really don't know. Some kind of cake with cream and fruit. I made a cherry cake for my birthday and put cream on it. Cherry and chocolate with cream. That was really, really good. Okay, someone's given me some stereotypes about Britain. Bad teeth. See, I don't know where that one came from. The stereotype that British people have bad teeth. I don't think I have bad teeth. They don't. And the people that I know don't have particularly bad teeth. We don't have cosmetic dentistry in the same way that America does. I think it's much more common in America to go and have all your teeth replaced by false ones to look shiny and white. But that's not so common in Britain. Bad food, definitely not, because we have people from all over the world who have brought their food here. So you can get excellent Indian food, Chinese food, Mexican food. Traditional British food, probably the chippy is the most common. You get chips from the chippy, they're great. They're not. It's not bad food at all. Alcohol, yes, I'm afraid so. That is a true stereotype. A lot of people do drink far too much. Unless it's raining all the time. Well, not today. Not today. I'll see if I can show you out of my window. Blue sky, sunshine. The only reason I'm not outside is because it's just too windy and you wouldn't be able to hear me. Are all British people tall? No, they are not. I'm quite tall. I am 173 centimetres. That's 5 feet and 8 inches. That's taller than average for women. My brothers are extremely tall, but that's just my family. So I wouldn't say that all British people are tall. There's a very big variety, big variation in height. So if an Englishman doesn't drink, he could be health conscious. Would that be rude? No, there are plenty of people who don't drink. I know I don't drink much myself, and I know other people, particularly in the fitness industry, who don't drink at all. Generally, if you have good friends, they're not going to complain. Sometimes you might get friends going, oh, go on, have a beer, it's just one beer. But they don't think it's rude. They might think it's a bit unusual, but it's not rude to refuse alcohol. Hi everybody, hello to the people who are just joining me. This is my Q&A to celebrate 5,000 subscribers. Thank you all for being here. The Full Monty, Freddie, are you talking about the film The Full Monty? I like that film, that is funny. It's a great film. I don't know how easy it is to understand for non-native speakers. The Full Monty is based in Sheffield in Yorkshire. Quite a lot of the characters have a strong Yorkshire accent. So let me know if you've seen that film. Tell me, was it really easy to understand the English in that film, or was it difficult? Let's have a look at some more questions. Ooh, which company's motorcycles and cars are very popular? Let's have a think. My car is a Volkswagen. German cars tend to be quite popular in Britain. They have a reputation for being reliable. So yeah, Volkswagen, BMW, Audi, and Ford cars are also really popular. But there are lots and lots of car brands that are sold in the UK. You can see all kinds of cars on the roads here. And I don't know much about motorbikes, I'm afraid. I think BMW and Kawasaki make popular bikes, but someone who knows a bit more about them might be able to answer that in the comments. I don't know. Facebook or Instagram? I don't have them, I'm afraid. My Facebook is personal, that's just linked to my gym job. And Instagram, I don't have Instagram at all. I know that's unusual for a YouTuber, but I have very limited time. So I try to stick with just one social media to keep up with, because I know that I won't post anything if I try to do another one. Let's have a look. Let me see my more questions. Okay. A comment under one of my photos. I think this might have been you, Freddie. Why did you say it was gorgeous weather when it was really windy? Because that's the best we're going to get. This kind of weather where it's nice and sunny, it's quite warm. It's still really windy, but we've got to appreciate it while we've got the sunshine. It can still be gorgeous even if it's windy, because we know it's probably not going to get much better than that. Someone else asked me, where can I find simple short stories at my level of English? And there is a great website which I'm going to link in the description later. It's the British Council. Their website is learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. I will write that down later for you. They have a section of stories which is split into different English levels. So you can find A1 stories, A2, B1, B2, C1 and C2, I think. Although by the C levels, you are normally able to read native level stories. But the British Council website has a really good selection of stories. I've used those in one-to-one lessons with my students. They also often have some questions after the story to check your understanding. That's really, really helpful. Why do you get up so early? This was also under my daily vlog video. Why do you get up so early? I get up at 5 a.m. There is a good reason for that. I get up at 5 a.m. so that I have time to work on my YouTube channel and do a workout before I have to get my children ready for school. And if I'm lucky, I might finish my workout before the children wake up. So it means that I get some quiet, peaceful time when I can just focus on my own work. That's why I get up so early. Yes, it is very, very early, and I have to go to bed early to ensure I can get up. But it's worth it. Quick and simple question, how old are you? I am 42. What type of car are you sitting in? I'm sitting in a Volkswagen Golf. Is it? Yes, it is. Sorry. I know my husband will correct me if I get this wrong. Yes, it's a Volkswagen Golf. I've only just got this car. It did belong to my husband, but he's swapped it for a van. So yes, I have my husband's old car. It's nice. I like it. Is the cost of living in England very high? Interesting question. I don't think so if you compare it to America. I've seen a few videos recently talking about the price of food in America, and that does seem very, very high compared to the amount that I pay for food. We also have a minimum wage, which is quite high. So it may sound like things are very expensive here, but the minimum wage is over £11 per hour. I'm not entirely sure what it is right now, but I know it's more than £11 per hour. So I'd say the cost of living probably is high compared to other countries, but I think the average income is probably quite high also. So it balances out. Okay, next question. What is my favourite movie? I don't know. I can never remember the titles of movies when someone asks me a question like that. I like action movies and comedy movies. I don't usually watch anything that's sad or really violent. Yeah, I like something that's a little bit light-hearted and funny, and if it has some action in it as well, even better. And I'm thinking of a movie right now that was really funny, and I can't remember the title. Something about a computer game character that developed his own intelligence. I don't remember. I don't remember. If someone knows that movie, I think it had Ryan Reynolds in it. You can tell me. Who is the boss at home? Is it me or Gavin? Free Guy, that's the name of the movie. Thank you, Gavin. Gavin's just written me a comment. Free Guy, I really enjoyed that one. That's what popped into my head when you asked what movies I like. Um, The Boss at Home, I tend to manage everyone's timetable and tell people where they are supposed to be and what they are supposed to be doing. So, yes, I'm the manager at home. Couple more questions, not many left now. We are getting to the end of my long list. A question about the English language. Is fire a countable noun? Yes and no. This is an interesting word, fire. You can count fires. You can say 1 fire, 2 fires, 3 fires. But you can also say some fire. So it can be countable, but it can also be used as an uncountable noun. It's one of those words that is not definitely one or the other. Gavin says the cat is the boss at home. That's probably true. Yeah, he's very cute. Everyone just does what he wants. He's too cute. And last question, why don't you have a Zoom meeting instead of a live stream? I think a Zoom meeting with a dozen people on it would just be chaos, and everyone would be trying to speak as well as me speaking. And I think a Zoom meeting would be very difficult to manage. So I don't intend to do that. I will be doing all my Q&As on live streams rather than on Zoom. I find it really interesting when you all leave me comments to tell me which country you come from. I made a little list this morning of all the different countries that people have mentioned in my comments. I have Chile, Colombia, Italy, India, Brazil, Paraguay, Peru, Spain, France, Morocco, Germany, UK, Saudi Arabia, Poland, Bangladesh, Philippines, Iraq, Algeria, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Egypt, Portugal, and there are more. People are always leaving me comments to say which country they are from, and I find it fascinating how far around the world these videos are going. It's really interesting to see. National holidays. National holidays. We have one coming up in a few weeks. It is Easter. So Easter is traditionally a Christian holiday, but the English calendar is based on the Christian calendar. So not everyone is Christian, but we all get a day off on the Christian holidays. So Easter. Easter, we have a bank holiday on the Friday and also the Monday. So Easter is always on a Sunday, and the Friday before and the Monday after are always a bank holiday. So lots of people will go on holiday over the Easter weekend because they have extra days off work. The children always have a 2-week holiday from school around Easter time. Christmas is another national holiday. Again, it's from the Christian calendar, but the whole country takes a holiday at Christmas. Bonfire night, that's not a religious holiday, but again, that's something that most people will celebrate. It's not a bank holiday, but it is something that most people will have a celebration for. Mother's Day, Mother's Day and Father's Day are also nationally recognised celebrations. Mother's Day is today. My children brought me some chocolates and cards, and one of my little girls got me a glitter snow globe, I don't know if you know what a snow globe is. It's a little glass ball. Um, it has water inside. You shake it up and it looks like there's snow falling. It's very cute. It has a little teddy bear inside. And it says Mum on it. So it is Mother's Day. Father's Day is usually in June. The dates change a little bit every year, but I think Father's Day is usually the second Sunday in June. I just look in my diary and see when it's going to be. I can't memorize the dates. So, does anyone have any more questions? I think we're almost done, and I'm going to go home and have my tea. Do I punish my children for bad behaviour? I do have consequences, yeah, punishments, I suppose you could call them. I'm not harsh. I don't hit my children. Usually, punishments would be something like you can't watch TV or you can't play computer games. Or for something small, maybe it's you have to go and sit on the stairs for 5 minutes, or you have to clean up the mess that you made. So not severe punishments, no, more small punishments. I'm more interested in teaching them how to fix their own problems rather than just punishing them. Okay, I am going to switch off now. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me for this live, and thank you for helping me to get to 5,000 subscribers. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.